If you own a retail store and your QuickBooks inventory isn't set up correctly, you're losing money. The setup starts with your chart of accounts, and the chart of accounts is very, very important because these accounts flow into your reports that you have to give to your tax preparer during tax time, and they also allows you to make decisions from your day-to-day operations. So if you don't have money to cover taxes or you don't have enough money to cover payroll, these accounts will allow you to see just how much funds it is that you have to work with. QuickBooks always gives a generic template for your industry, but you want to make sure you customize it to the operations within your business. So today we're going to focus on the chart of accounts for the retail business. And within this chart of accounts, you want to make sure that you have inventory turned on. So how you turn on the inventory within your QuickBooks, I'm going to show you. You're going to go to the right hand of your screen. You're going to click the gear icon and you're going to go to account and settings. And then within this accounting settings, you're going to go over to the left navigation screen and go to sales. And that will bring you to the inventory. This is a test file, so this is not real data. This is just for tutorial purposes only. You're going to go to the product and services here to track your inventory. Now you want to click on, it's already on within this sample data file, but if it wasn't, you would just click on it and then you would turn this green. It's already on, so we're going to just turn it back on. And then once you're finished making your changes, you're going to click done. And then you'll say yes to the prompt. And then it'll bring you back to the new interface dashboard. Now, I also wanted to bring you guys attention to the chart of accounts because this is a test file, like I said before. So we're going to go to your accounting and then we're going to go to your chart of accounts. And we're going to make sure the different type of accounts that we need referencing the retail industry is set up in our chart of accounts. And we want to look for sales income, which this I believe is a landscaping company, that the test file data. So they would have something like design income, and here it is, design income. For retail, we would have sales income. You also want to have inventory asset, merchant fees, expenses, rent, payroll expenses. Those accounts, you want to make sure that you customize these accounts to fit the retail industry. If you have a POS system, which is a point of sale, make sure it's connected and that it's in sync with your QuickBooks. If the POS doesn't categorize the transactions for you, you would have to manually code those transactions to gross sales, and then the fees would be coded to merchant fees. Sales tax would be set up as sales tax payable, which is not here, but you would have to set that account up as well. With a retail industry, you would have to track your inventory. So to track your inventory, you would go to sales, product and services, and then you would bring you to this screen. If you wanted to enter in the items that you have for your inventory, you would just click new product and services. And then these fields are very important because these are going to classify the type of item that you have. Right now, we're focusing on the retail chart of accounts and the inventory account that is connected to those chart of accounts. You would click inventory. And then this is self-explanatory. You would just put in the name, the SKU number, the category, the initial quantity on hand, which you have, the date that you have that quantity, and the reorder point, just to kind of let you know a alert to give you to when you need to order it when that item is low. The inventory asset account is the inventory asset, which I will get into a little bit later. Your description, your sales price, the income account, your sales tax, and the cost. Also, that expense account is the cost of goods sold. And then you would just click save and close. We don't have anything in there, so it's not going to save and close it. So if your POS doesn't match your QuickBooks, then you have to check the syncing and the mapping. And if you're wondering why your inventory is straining your cash or why the sales are high but your profit is low, well, make sure you reconcile that inventory and review the following reports that I'm going to explain to you now. Inventory is not straightforward. I remember I was talking to a guy and he was confused because he was wondering why his inventory wasn't showing up on these reports that everyone keeps telling him to pull from QBO. And the problem wasn't the reports. The problem was that he thought inventory asset account in QuickBooks meant the inventory alone. He was categorizing items from the bank feed. I don't know how this happened, but he was categorizing the items that was in the bank feed straight to inventory asset and not setting the items up in the products and services that we just went over. And this is an honest mistake, but no one told him the difference until I spoke to him. He was looking at the right reports. It just wasn't the right account. So inventory valuation summary has to agree with the inventory asset account. They work together to produce an accurate number on the balance sheet. So the reports to look at, which I'm going to show you guys now, is your profit and loss, your inventory valuation summary, and your sales by product service. These reports will give you a little bit more of what's going on behind the scenes when it comes to the amount of inventory you have on hand, the amount that was sold, and what the profit was for those specific items. The profit and loss is just that. It shows you your profit and then it shows you your expenses. We're going to go to your inventory valuation summary. Inventory valuation summary. And we're going to do it from the beginning of the year. And you see this 596.25, that is the total. If we were categorizing something from the bank feed like the guy was doing, then it wouldn't show up here because it's going directly to the inventory asset account. Whereas this report pulls the items from within the product and services. So if you do not set up the products and services correctly, it will not flow to this account, but it will go on to your balance sheet, which would create a balance in the inventory asset account, which wouldn't reconcile with this account. Let me show you an example because it's probably best if I just show you guys instead of just trying to explain it. Okay, mahogany mugs, right? This is for $18.08. Let's go back to the inventory valuation because I want to make sure I show you guys what it is that we're looking at. Okay, so just keep in mind 596.25. That's the balance, right? And we're going to go to the balance sheet. 596.25 is on our inventory valuation summary, right? We're going to go to the balance sheet and we're going to look at the inventory asset and it's 596.25. So I think that agrees with the inventory valuation summary. Now, if we were to code that item, which was, I believe, the mugs here for 1808, straight into inventory asset, we add, that item would not appear on the inventory valuation sheet, but it will be in the balance sheet. So let's see. The balance sheet, it would be in the balance sheet as of the, right. So see, our 596 jumped up to 614.33 because that 1808, I believe, was added in there. But if we go to the valuation, because the item wasn't correctly added with the products and services, that's not going to be on our inventory valuation summary. And see, it's not here. The 596.25 is the amount that we started with. So I just wanted to show you guys that it's very, very important that you add those items in to your QuickBooks. And QuickBooks works very well with the flow of things. So you have to follow the flow in order to QuickBooks to work for you. QuickBooks is very, very helpful when you set it up specifically for your retail business, but you have to customize everything so that it can really tell what exactly happened within your business. If you want to make sure your industry is set up correctly, hit like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. Be blessed.